Finally, One Piece episode 1133 has arrived, where we get Saturn Comeback and what price Kuma has to pay to save Bonnie. Watch till the end, this one is gonna blow your mind. The episode starts right where the last one left us. Sorbet Kingdom is a roaring inferno, and Kuma, our tragic titan, is diving headfirst into the blazing houses, pulling people out left and right. He's a one-man rescue squad, snatching everyone from the jaws of death until the rescued villagers themselves are screaming in terror for his life. That's enough, Kuma. You saved everyone. If you keep going, you'll just be another casualty. Please, Kuma, get out of there. And then the scene cuts to that utter piece of garbage, King Bakori, a smug look on his face. And this dude, this absolute monster, has the gall to reveal that his sick idea to burn his own people came from a kingdom in the Far East. Yeah, he's talking about the Goa Kingdom, Luffy's freaking hometown, where those nobles burned the Grey Terminal 6 years before, all to impress some visiting celestial dragons by getting rid of the trash. Kuma was there. He witnessed that unthinkable horror, the burning of the Grey Terminal, firsthand, and he was damn well not going to let that atrocity happen again in his home. Bakori even spews some twisted logic. One must have the heart to do the devil's work if a kingdom is to prosper. Pure evil, ladies and gents. Meanwhile, outside the burning palace, the citizens of Sorbet, pushed to their absolute limit, have gathered to protest King Bakori's cruel, inhumane policy. But that tyrant, he just coldly orders his soldiers to kill 4 or 5 of them to teach the others a lesson. And tragically, some of the protesters become victims of this brutal order. But suddenly, the soldiers spot him. Kuma is descending from the sky like an avenging angel, brimming with the rage of hell itself. His eyes are glowing with an unholy fire and anguish, spelling imminent doom for everyone in that damn palace. Cut to Kuma's church. Everyone is on edge, a makeshift field hospital, as they bring in the victims of Bakori's cruelty, trying to tend to their wounds. And little Bonnie, ever curious, is gazing outside towards the fiery, chaotic scene, her innocent eyes wide with concern for Kuma. The elders, trying to protect her, quickly usher her to come inside. Back the palace, Kuma, his resolve hardened to diamond, raises his mighty hand to revolt against the king. Bakori, absolutely terrified, tries to threaten Kuma, even pathetically calling him a bumpkin of a priest. But Kuma is done. Without a shred of remorse, he unleashes his power, blasting everything away. The king's soldiers, his vanguard, the very walls of the palace, obliterated. This single, devastating act of retribution shocked the entire world. It was recorded down in history as the one-man revolution against a tyrannical kingdom. Kuma, a reluctant hero, accidentally stumbling into yet another revolution. Over in the Holy Land, Marie Joa, the news reaches St. J. Garcia Saturn. That creepy, spider-like Gorosei is informed that Sorbet Kingdom has a new king. Curious, Saturn asks, "Who is it?" And back in Sorbet Kingdom, celebration erupts. The people, overjoyed and liberated, unanimously declare Kuma their new king. Even though Kuma himself refused the position, wanting no part of power, he became their king in name, a king who lived in a beat-down old church. Despite any attempts to give him royal treatment, Kuma himself spoke out, making it clear, the one who's really running the country is King Bulldog. An elder, filled with happiness, revealed that Bulldog was the beloved king from 2 generations ago. His reign wasn't bad, they said, but we were poor. So Kuma became a kind of shadow ruler, a symbol of their hope, while Bulldog handled the actual governance. Shortly after all this chaos and new beginnings, little Bonnie, still just a child, accidentally transforms. One day, she just poofs into an adult form, one that bears an uncanny resemblance to her late mother, Ginny. This, understandably, shocks everyone around her, including Kuma and the locals. When Bonnie, confused, looks in a mirror, her own surprise at her reflection causes her to instantly revert to her child form. It's Kyo, or Gyogyo, one of the locals Kuma saved, who pieces it together. He deduces that she must have consumed a devil fruit. An elder later identifies it from one of those legendary devil fruit encyclopedias. Oda's confirmed there are a few different versions floating around. Sanji's Akuma no Mizukan, Iva's Book of Genesis, and this one that just says devil fruits in English, as the Toshi Toshi no Mi, the age fruit. We don't see when she ate it or why it was just lying around in Sorbet Kingdom. Typical One Piece devil fruit shenanigans. Bonnie, now aware of her power, begins practicing her transformations, but Kuma, ever the worried father, urges her not to overexert herself, terrified it might worsen her still-present sapphire scale disease, which, heartbreakingly, hasn't receded and has even begun to spread more around her cheek and above her eye. The poor kid can't catch a break. Then, King Bulldog visits Kuma at the church. He's accompanied by his mother, the Queen Dowager Connie. She's the widow queen of Bulldog's father, the king before him. And Bonnie, in the middle of practicing her devil fruit powers, transforms into an elderly form that looks astonishingly like Queen Connie. This leads to some hilarious confusion among the locals, who keep mistaking Bonnie for the actual queen. This is gold, and it perfectly explains how Bonnie later used Connie's likeness as a disguise to sneak into the reverie at Marie Joie. It seems Bonnie and Connie even got pretty close, because Connie eventually gives her hat to Bonnie, that signature hat Bonnie wears all through the pre-time skip until Blackbeard captures her. It's a sweet, almost Shanks Luffy-esque moment, but with a touch of sadness given everything. But King Bulldog isn't there for laughs. He reveals troubling, dreadful news. That cockroach, Bekori, has escaped. And worse, with the full support of the world government and the Marines, he's plotting a bloody comeback. Propaganda is already spreading like wildfire, falsely portraying Kuma as an evil tyrant who seized the throne by force and even set the fires in the kingdom himself. This is how Kuma gets saddled with that infamous tyrant epithet. Classic world government smear campaign, orchestrated by none other than Saturn, who clearly remembers Kuma from God Valley and wants him crushed. Saturn is shaping up to be Bonnie's ultimate arch-nemesis, the architect of her entire family's suffering. Facing Bekori's imminent return, backed by a freaking marine fleet, Kuma makes a heavy decision. He will confront him to protect the Sorbet Kingdom, but he can't stay. He entrusts Bonnie to King Bulldog, who solemnly promises to keep her safe in the castle, shielded from all natural light to slow the relentless progression of her sapphire scale disease. Kuma then meets Bekori at sea. Bekori, that arrogant puppet, shouts, "Kill him! He's the tyrant that took the kingdom from me!" The irony is blinding, but Kuma, a one-man wrecking crew, effortlessly sinks the entire marine fleet. We don't get confirmation if Bekori finally bit the dust, but one can only hope. This act, this defiance against the world government's forces, solidifies Kuma's status as a wanted criminal. He gets a very high bounty, 296 berries. And remember, that number is a NICU pun, 296, and a barrage of evil nicknames, all thanks to the world government's lie. Kuma then flees to the seas, officially becoming a pirate, embarking on a desperate, globe-trotting quest to find a cure for Bonnie. This is his world tour of heartbreak and hope. His travels take him to the Torino Kingdom in the South Blue, renowned for medicine. It's a pun. Kingdom of Birds. Sadly, no cure there. This is where he later sends Chopper. Kuraigana Island, the abandoned, war-torn Shikiru Kingdom. Pun. It's gloomy damp. Mihawk's future moody hideout. While there, Kuma gets attacked by Abdullah and Jeet from the Dressrosa Corrida Coliseum, trying to cash in on his bounty. He obliterates their ships. Karakuri Island, Mechanical Island, in the country of Bulgemore. Maybe an Einstein reference. Vegapunk's hometown, where Frankie gets his glow-up. He even passes by Tequila Wolf, that insane 700-year slave-built bridge. Is it connecting seas, or just a celestial dragon's sick fantasy? Robin gets sent here because the revolutionaries were liberating it. Kuma knew. Then to Witheria, the sky island of weather scientists, where he meets Heredas, perfect for Nami, and the Boyne Archipelago, home of Heraclesen and giant man-eating plants, where Usopp learns to weaponize nature. He even visits a poverty-stricken, war-torn country that seems to be Hera Hepatania, Hungaria, Brook's time-skip location, Luffy to Amazon Lily. Kuma probably knew about Rayleigh's connection to Hancock, Sanji to Kamabaka Kingdom. Ivankov was his friend. Kuma's knowledge and planning for the Straw Hats was next level. During his travels, after about 2 years as a pirate, Kuma reunites with Dragon and the Revolutionary Army aboard the Viento Grama, Wind Grandmother. More wind hints. All the current revolutionary commanders are there. Morley, a younger 28-year-old Bello Betty, Lindbergh's deputy commander Tamagon, except Sabo and Koala. Dragon gravely informs Kuma that Ivanov and Inazuma have been captured and sent to impel down. This is the crucial setup for them meeting Luffy later. Dragon even serves Kuma a bottle of alcohol, just like he did with Sabo recently. Bello Betty then approaches Kuma. She wants to become the commander of the East Army, which was Ginny's old position. Dragon wouldn't give it to anyone else without Kuma's blessing. Kuma, with a bittersweet smile, thinking of Ginny, says, "So a woman with a bad mouth, like Ginny, wants to become a commander? Fine by me." Dragon also tells Kuma that Sabo and Koala have come a long way since Kuma last saw them training, and it would be nice if he saw it himself. Kuma wistfully admits he would love to return to the Revolutionary Army someday, but his priority remains finding a cure for Bonnie. Dragon, ever enigmatic, encourages him. "Let the winds of fate guide you, my friend." Oda is practically screaming at us, Dragon has wind powers. Wind Logia? Mythical Zoan Weatherlord? Whatever it is, it's wind-based, and that traitorous dragon epithet combined with his potential admiral candidate status, the dragon in the zodiac colors, makes him an even bigger enigma. Kuma, on Dragon's tip, returns to the Sorbet Kingdom to retrieve Bonnie. She's been training hard, and can now even defeat an adult in hand-to-hand combat, dreaming of becoming a pirate like her father. Together, father and daughter travel to Egghead Island, which was still a frozen winter island back then. This is where Vegapunk's new laboratory, Lab 8, is located. Kuma brought Bonnie in a box to shield her from sunlight. There, Kuma meets Dr. Vegapunk, still with his gigantic head. No satellites yet, and Bonnie even gets to play with a young Sentomaru. Vegapunk tells Kuma the words he's longed to hear. Yes, it is possible to cure Bonnie's sapphire scale disease. He'll use a revolutionary new technique, artificially created stem cell transplant technology that wasn't used in any hospital yet. In exchange for this miracle cure, Kuma offers his blood for Vegapunk's research to create clone soldiers. Vegapunk, upon testing Kuma's blood, is shocked to find Kuma is a buccaneer. This makes Kuma's blood extremely valuable for Vegapunk's experiments. This is the infamous deal. Kuma becoming a Shichibukai, allowing Vegapunk to study his buccaneer body and clone it, was all for Bonnie's cure. Vegapunk, fascinated by Kuma's immense strength, wants to create an army of these clones, equipped with Kizaru's laser tech, to subjugate pirates and protect the weak and helpless. Kuma, still clinging to his ideals, even if Dragon wouldn't approve of working with the WG, asks what the clones will do. Vegapunk, still naive and optimistic at this stage, envisions them as heroic marines. Kuma, deeply touched, says if his clones can save lives, maybe this is the purpose I was born for. Vegapunk calls him a saint, but Kuma corrects him, no, I am just a pacifist who desires peace. And Vegapunk, loving the sound of it, decides to name the warriors of the future Pacifista. The tragic, beautiful irony. These warriors of the future even echo the title of Warrior of Liberation, Joy Boy, tying into Kuma's deep desire to be a Nika-like figure. But in the shadows of Marie Joie, Saint J. Garcia Saturn is listening to their entire conversation via wiretap. That manipulative bastard says Vegapunk is a fool and has no idea how to truly utilize this chant. I have another idea. Saturn is about to hijack this project for his own nefarious warmongering purposes. This is where it all goes wrong, explaining why Bonnie blames Saturn for killing her father by ordering his free will erased. Kuma was likely blackmailed with Bonnie as a hostage, forcing his obedience and transformation into a mindless weapon. This flashback, man, it's an absolute emotional roller coaster, revealing the depth Kuma's sacrifice and the true evil he faced. Final pieces are locking into place, and Kuma's journey is undeniably one of the most tragic and heroic in all of One Piece. If Kuma's badassery and Bonnie's fight are getting you hyped, smash that subscribe button to keep up with the action. Drop a like too, it'll help more. One Piece fans find this recap. Let's get back to it. It's likely Kuma could not refuse the world government's orders because they captured Bonnie hostage. Akainu himself mentioned that Bonnie was previously captive by the world government. Kuma was blackmailed into giving up his life. Otherwise, they would have killed Bonnie. This likely explains why Kuma became the most obedient of the Shichibukai, always following orders, just as Moria put it back on Thriller Bar. But, as Akainu also mentioned, Bonnie would later escape from the government, which is why Akainu was so worried. She was their bargaining chip with Kuma. So, at the age of 10, just like she promised herself, and Kuma tearfully promised her, she became a pirate, being joined by Gyogyo and the other friends of Kuma and Ginny from the Sorbet Kingdom, who became her crew. Hoping to reunite with her father, when she found out about him becoming a mindless weapon, and seeing him completely dead during the Battle of Marineford, which prompted her to burst out crying, Bonnie decided to go to the New World to take revenge against Vegapunk, blissfully unaware that he wasn't the one responsible for Kuma's death. Rather, Saturn was. At last, it looks like we can finally understand all of Kuma's incredibly heartbreaking, unfathomably tragic, and utterly heroic past. This was an absolute marathon of pain, sacrifice, and mind-blowing revelation. What a legend. And that's episode 1133. Kuma's revolution and his heartbreaking sacrifice for Bonnie leave us speechless. If this recap's got you fired up, hit that like button and comment 1134 below to spread it to more One Piece fans so it'll get the next one out faster. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Watch the video in front of you right now to know what has happened till now in Egghead, and I'll catch you in the next one.